In this video, we'll explore how soy isoflavones found in foods like edamame, tempeh, tofu, and soy milk can support your healthy aging through their powerful effects on heart health, bone health, and women's health during menopause. Hi, I'm Chung, an accredited nutritionist with a master's in nutritional sciences, here to share with you practical and science-backed nutrition to help you lower your cholesterol and improve your heart health. Let's start by understanding what are isoflavones. Isoflavones are plant compounds found mainly in soybeans and soy foods. They are also called phytoestrogens, which literally means plant estrogens because parts of their structures resemble human estrogen. The two primary soy isoflavones are genistein and diethzine. The first concern a lot of people have is whether we should be worried about compounds that mimic estrogen. That's a topic that has sparked many controversies about soy foods, but in reality, the opposite is actually true. Isoflavones function as selective estrogen receptor modulators, or SERMs for short. This means that they act intelligently in your body, producing estrogen-like benefits in tissues like your heart and bones where you need protection, while having neutral or even protective effects in tissues such as those in the breast and uterus. Estrogen is a hormone, and it needs to bind to estrogen receptors on different cells to tell the cells what to do next. Think of estrogen as the key and the estrogen receptor as the lock, and the key needs to fit into the lock for the next action to take place. There are two main types of estrogen receptors in the body: estrogen receptor alpha and estrogen receptor beta. What makes isoflavones particularly beneficial for aging is their preferential binding to the beta rather than the alpha versions of estrogen receptors. Estrogen receptor beta activation tends to have protective effects, which is exactly what we want as we age. This unique property of SERMs becomes especially important during and after menopause. When a woman's estrogen levels drop dramatically during her transition to menopause, her risk of heart disease, osteoporosis, and other chronic conditions increases significantly. As such, isoflavones, acting as natural SERMs, could help protect women, and in fact also men, to reduce the effects of these chronic conditions and support healthy aging. Before I get to the heart health and other benefits of isoflavones, as well as discuss how you could obtain sufficient amounts in your diet, if you're enjoying the video so far, help me hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons and turn on the notifications. You could also check out this other video where I explain why I think soy protein is the healthiest protein you could eat. While heart disease remains the leading cause of death for men across the lifespan, for women, the loss of estrogen during menopause has profound effects on heart health. Estrogen plays a protective role in maintaining favorable cholesterol levels, healthy blood vessels, and reduced inflammation. When estrogen levels drop, a woman's heart disease risk accelerates rapidly, which is why heart disease becomes the leading cause of death among postmenopausal women. This is where soy isoflavones become particularly valuable in three ways. Number one, isoflavones are found primarily in soy foods, which form one of the pillars of the portfolio diet that's scientifically proven to lower cholesterol levels by up to 30% when followed consistently. This meta-analysis of 35 randomized controlled trials showed that an average intake of 30 grams per day of soy protein from natural soy foods resulted in a reduction in LDL cholesterol of 11 milligrams per deciliter, or 6% from baseline. This lowering of LDL cholesterol involves both the soy protein itself as well as the SERM activity of isoflavones working together to enhance the liver's ability to remove LDL cholesterol from the bloodstream. In fact, soy protein has been studied clinically for over 50 years for its cholesterol-lowering effects, with the US FDA approving a health claim since 1999 that 25 grams of soy protein per day may reduce the risk of heart disease. Number two, as we age, our arteries naturally become stiffer, which increases heart disease risk. Research demonstrates that soy isoflavone supplementation significantly improves arterial stiffness, helping blood vessels remain more flexible and responsive. This is particularly important because the stiffness of arteries is an independent risk factor for heart attacks and strokes beyond traditional risk factors. Isoflavones improve blood vessel function by enhancing nitric oxide production, which helps blood vessels dilate properly and maintain healthy blood flow. And number three, chronic inflammation is now well accepted to increase the risk of heart disease. So what does the research say about isoflavones and inflammation? This meta-analysis of 14 trials showed that soy isoflavones could significantly reduce the inflammation marker CRP in postmenopausal women with chronic inflammation. The combined effects of lower cholesterol, healthier arteries, and lower inflammation can then be observed in heart disease outcomes, where studies on Asian countries, including China and Japan, showed that highest versus lowest intake of soy was associated with a 23% lower risk of developing or dying from a heart attack or stroke. This outcome is likely due to the isoflavones, as well as beneficial effects from the soy protein, fiber, as well as healthy fats found in natural soy foods. Before I discuss some additional benefits of isoflavones, if you've been struggling with high cholesterol and stuck on how to improve your heart health, that's what I help my clients with on a daily basis. If that's your goal as well, click on the link in the description and sign up for a free strategy session. You could also help me by sharing this video with someone whom you think would benefit from more isoflavones and natural soy foods in their diet. What beneficial health outcomes are linked to the selective estrogen receptor modulator or SERM properties of isoflavones? Number 1, SERMs become especially relevant for bone health in aging adults. Just as estrogen protects women's bones before menopause, isoflavones acting through estrogen receptor beta could help preserve bone mineral density after menopause. This meta-analysis showed that an average intake of about 80 mg per day of isoflavones for at least 6 months significantly increased bone mineral density at the lumbar spine area. The bone protective effects of isoflavones could be attributed to its ability to bind to estrogen receptor beta in bones, reducing bone breakdown while promoting bone building. Importantly, bone health isn't just a women's issue. A Shanghainese study of over 61,000 men found that compared to lowest intake, highest soy isoflavone intake of more than 45 mg per day was associated with a 27% reduction in fracture risk due to osteoporosis. As men age and testosterone levels drop, they too become vulnerable to osteoporosis, making isoflavones beneficial for both sexes. For women experiencing menopausal symptoms, soy isoflavones offer a natural alternative that works through their SERM properties. This meta-analysis found that isoflavone supplementation at average doses of 54 mg per day significantly reduced the frequency of hot flashes by 20.6% and the severity by 26.2%. This benefit is linked to isoflavone's ability to bind to estrogen receptor beta in the hypothalamus, which is the brain region that regulates body temperature. For aging men, soy isoflavones also show promise for prostate health. This meta-analysis found that in Japanese men, highest versus lowest levels of circulating isoflavone metabolites was associated with a 39% lower risk of prostate cancer. Isoflavones have been shown to bind to estrogen receptor beta, which then downregulates androgen receptors in prostate cancer cells, which reduces their proliferation. Before I discuss how much soy foods you should eat to obtain sufficient amounts of isoflavones in your diet, since you made it this far, why not help me by sharing in the comments how much soy foods do you currently eat in a day? So, how much isoflavones should you consume? An intake of at least 25 mg and preferably 50 mg of isoflavones per day appears to be optimal for health benefits, particularly for aging adults. This aligns with typical Asian intakes and the amounts shown to be protective in research studies. Which natural soy foods do we need to eat in a day to get these amounts of isoflavones? Start off your day with 1 cup or about 250 ml of soy milk as a drink on its own, or use it to soak your overnight oats, and that will give you 25 mg of isoflavones before you leave the house. For lunch, throw in 100 grams of regular tofu into a stir fry, or order a serving of tofu with your economy rice, and that will give you another 25 mg of isoflavones. What does 100 grams of tofu look like? It'll be about 1/3 of a standard pack of tofu that you would normally find in a supermarket. And for dinner, air fry 50 grams of tempeh, or stir fry 50 grams of frozen edamame with mushrooms or other vegetables, and that will give you another 25 mg of isoflavones. Did you know that edamame is one of the most unprocessed forms of soybeans, while the fermentation process to make tempeh actually increases the bioavailability of isoflavones? As you can see, we can readily get 25 to 75 mg of isoflavones with these easily available natural soy foods. And one more additional tip, the firmer the tofu, the higher will be the isoflavone and incidentally, the protein content. So 70 grams of pressed tofu or tau kwa actually has the same 25 mg of isoflavones as 140 grams of silken tofu. If you'd like to find out more about the health benefits of edamame, the most natural of soy foods, I've actually made a full video on this that you could check out here. Or you could also check out these other videos where I explain how you could use various foods to reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease. See you in the next one.